Hello and welcome to this 60-minute yin yoga class. I've just come back off a 5-day yin yoga teacher training course and I've got a deeper appreciation for the yin practice now, and I'd love to share that with you. So we'll start by closing down the eyes. Just start to tune into the breath. Just noticing how the breath shows up in the body. And not necessarily changing anything just yet. But just noticing if the breath is shallow or deep. If it feels free or restricted in any way. And as we start to turn our attention inside, we start to notice any areas of tightness, tension. And we start to be aware that the body is always giving us information about our experience. And when we slow down and take practices such as yin, it really helps us tune into these bodily sensations and put this information to good use. So slowly starting to inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth, sigh it out. We'll do two more like that. Inhale. Exhale through the mouth. Inhale deep into the belly. Exhale, let it go. Nice. Just tuning into the breath now. And creating a nice circular breath. So no pause at the top, no pause at the bottom. Smooth and evenly distributed. We can imagine that we're inhaling air down through the top of the lungs, middle of the lungs, and into the low belly, to the diaphragm. And as we exhale, we're raising the air up from the low belly first, middle of the lungs, top of the lungs. And we can imagine this almost like a circular motion. For the inhales, we want to be about 4 beats on the inhale. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And exhale through the nose for 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale through the nose, nice and smooth. Exhale through the nose, smooth and even. Inhale. Exhale. This time as we inhale, we'll raise the head towards the sky. Look up. Exhale that chin down towards the left shoulder. We continue the exhale all the way down till the chin reaches the chest. And then we inhale up the right side. And exhale. Exhale takes us all the way to the bottom. Inhale brings us all the way to the top. One more like that on this side. And as you get to the top, we'll exhale, chin down to the right shoulder. Inhale up. And exhale. So normal to find some pops and crackles in the neck here. And once you reach the chin down to the chest, you can blink open the eyes. And we'll come into our first yin posture. You'll notice I'm sat on a bolster. I also have a block here. If you don't have a block or a bolster, don't stress. Just grab a pillow or cushion off your couch. Even fold up a jumper or a hoodie. It's just nice to have something to elevate these sit bones. But for our first posture, we'll come into butterfly. So I'm going to remove my bolster. I'm going to swap it for my block for this pose. And in butterfly, we bring in the soles of the feet together in a diamond shape. Heels are quite close towards the groin. We're not out here in a diamond. That targets the outer hip. We're looking to target the inner groin with this pose. So we'll start with soles of the feet together. Inhale to raise the spine up nice and tall. And as we exhale, we just fold. And this is completely disengaged. So we're not grabbing onto the feet and forcing or holding. We're letting the arms relax. Finding a place which is comfortable for us. We're going to be here for 3 minutes. So arms just past the feet. They can also be on the legs. You can even roll the palms up towards the ceiling, which actually helps to prevent us from feeling like we're gripping. So it can help us to let go a little bit easier. And from here, we're just rounding the spine, even letting the chin come nice and low. You can tuck the chin slightly towards the chest. And just really relaxing over the hips, over the legs. Letting the knees fall open. And the feet can even start to open like the pages of a book, if that feels natural. And if your knees are a little bit higher, if you're a little bit tighter in the hips, no worries. Just be where you're at in this pose. And time and the gravity will do the work for you. So we're not gripping, we're not forcing. In yin yoga, we're really just trying to surrender, which can be a difficult word for some people. But what I mean by that is just surrendering to what is, without having to force, without having to control. One more minute here. Nice, very slowly, no rush. Start to raise the body back up to seated position. You can release the legs. You can remove your block or sweater or cushion if you had one. And we'll come to meeting our first rebound. So in yin, we take these rebounds in between poses, usually 2 minutes, but it depends on the length of the previous pose. So coming all the way down to the back, Straighten out the legs. You can even bring a bolster underneath the knees if that feels nice for you. And we'll be here for 2 minutes. Hands can be out to the sides, like a mini Shavasana, palms facing up. Or it can be really nice here to bring one hand to the chest, another hand to the low belly, just to really help us tune into the body and the breath, the rhythm of the heartbeat. Another 10 seconds here. Very nice. When you're ready, you can start to make your way up to seated, however that's easiest for you, but keeping it very chilled, very yin. We'll come to meet in tabletop position, all fours. And from here, we're going to bring the left foot to the outside of the left hand. The palms of the hands are flat on the floor. We're separating and spreading wide through the fingers. And maybe you're here. Maybe this is where you're getting sensation. The target area for this pose is the right hip flexor. In order for me to get sensation, I need to walk this right knee back. And it's also helpful for me to come up on a block or a bolster to raise my hands. Now I'm feeling sensation in the right hip flexor. Back toes are relaxed. So once you've found your position, maybe you're down on the forearms, maybe you're up on the hands, we'll stay here for 3 minutes. Once you've found your pose and you've found some stillness, try and lean into that stillness. So with yin, we find our edge and we lean just up against it, but we're never pushing too hard. We want to be at about 70%, 60 or 70% of our tolerance in the pose. And we want to lean up against that boundary where it's just starting to get uncomfortable, but we never want any pinching, any burning or stabbing or grinding sensations. you will know the difference between a good discomfort, a good ache, a dull ache, that's what we're after. Anything that feels like it's bone on bone or going into the joint too deep, just back up out of it. It's also normal for the pose to change over time and readjust as your body starts letting you in, as the body starts opening up. So for me, I like to come down onto my forearms, usually a minute or two into this dragon lunge as my body opens up. So the primary target area here is the right hip flexor. That's the front of the right hip here. But the secondary target area is the inside of the left groin. So you may be getting sensation there too. That's okay. Last couple of breaths here. When you're ready, slowly starting to raise the body up, back onto the hands. You can remove your bolster or block if you have one. Stepping this left leg back to meet the right, very gently. And it's totally normal to feel like you're about 95 years old when you come out of these poses. What I'd invite you to do for the rebound in this pose, I'll give you an option here. You can come into child's pose. So however that looks for you, I like to have my knees nice and wide, but your knees can be in closer together. And then sitting the hips back towards the heels and walk the hands forward slightly. You can bring your head down onto the mat, forehead down, or onto a block. This can feel really nice, helps you feel really supported in the pose. Maybe your chin is down on the mat. Just listening to what's right for your body, and you can play with which side of the block feels best for you. So we're in this rebound for 2 minutes. If you prefer a rebound on your back, like we did earlier, or just lay directly on the belly on your front, that's also an option. This is just an option for the rebound. But throughout yin, we're cultivating the ability to discern what's right for us. What really feels good for us, not what is the person next to us doing on their mat. Yin is really about tapping into our own experience and discerning, what do I like? What works for me in my body today? So if you prefer a different rebound, go ahead, do your thing. And when you're ready, we can start to come out of our rebound. We can walk the hands underneath the shoulders, take the block away if you had one. And we'll come back into our lizard lunge. This time, right foot comes forward, hands directly underneath the shoulders. And walking this back left knee back to wherever's comfortable. So maybe if you're tight in the hips, maybe you're here, 90 degrees in the front leg, approximately, and approximately 90 degrees in the back leg. I don't really like to talk about angles actually, but just as a guide. But maybe you need to walk it back a little further. So just discerning what's right for you. I'm going to grab my bolster again. You can also use a block. Just to elevate the hands, to bring the earth up to you. Releasing the back toes. And again, we'll be here for 3 minutes. So we're feeling sensation in the front left hip flexor here. And the rest of the body is really quite disengaged. Obviously, we've got the hands and arms supporting us. Maybe you're down here on the forearms. We're really just trying to relax into this pose, letting the head relax. And not worrying so much about how it looks, but really tuning into how it feels. So I actually feel like I've lost some sensation there. I'm going to come back up high on the hands for the final minute. And close down the eyes, which helps to bring the attention inside. Final 10 seconds here. And when you're ready, remove your bolster or your block. You can maybe draw this left knee in a little first for stability. And you can walk this right foot back. And this time I'd invite you to come onto your rebound on your back. I'm actually going to bring the bolster underneath the back of the knees here. So coming down onto our back, palms can face up towards the ceiling. Or you can have one hand on the heart, one hand on the chest. It's up to you. Sorry, one hand on the heart, one hand on the low belly. We'll be here for 2 minutes. Letting the body weight sink down into the earth. Total relaxation. When you're ready, you can remove your bolster, come back through seated, find your way to seated however you want to get there, and we'll come into half butterfly. So extending the right leg out first, we're going to bring the sole of the left foot in towards the right thigh. You can sit on a block or a bolster here to elevate the hips, elevate the pelvis. And keeping a bend in this right knee, a slight bend in the knee, we're just going to fold over that right leg. So we're disengaged here. And we're just allowing ourselves to fold over the right knee. But we're keeping this bend in the knee. We're looking for sensation in the right hamstring and also the back body, but the right hamstring is the main target area here. So once you've found your position, I actually need to adjust slightly. I think I'm actually better with my bolster in this position. So I'm going to do that. And then once you're set up, we'll be here for 4 minutes. So you can be folding directly over the knee, or maybe your inclination is to fold on the inside seam of the right leg. Again, it's about where we get sensation in the target area, the hamstring. So for me, I use a bolster, I have a slight bend in the right knee, and then I fold over the inside edge of this right leg. But for yourself, it might look different. Maybe there's no bolster involved, and maybe you fall directly over the knee. But what I would encourage you to do, wherever you are, is once you've found the position and you found your edge, 60 or 70%, just let go. Really surrender to the pose and allow the pose to work its magic. If you find this to be sensitive on your heel, or for any other poses where maybe your knees are on the ground, if it feels sensitive, you can always fold over your mat. Don't forget that that is always an option. So you might feel the stretch in the kidneys, the back body, even the neck, upper back. This whole back line really is potentially turned on for you right now. But again, the target area is the right hamstring. Melting over this right leg. Last few seconds here. Nice. When you're ready, very gently, very slowly start to walk the hands underneath the body and release the leg. You can unroll your mat if you had it rolled. I invite you to take another rebound here. So this time we're going to come to the back. You can bring that bolster underneath the knees if it feels good for you. And just sinking back into our rebound position here. We'll be here for 3 minutes this time. And these rebounds are so necessary to help us integrate the information we've received from the pose, to help the body to absorb the benefits of the pose before we move on to the next posture. And they're also just a lesson in slowing down and not always having to be doing something. Even though yin is a very passive practice, the holds in between poses, the rebounds in between poses, are yet another exercise of not doing. And when you're ready, slowly making your way back up to seated. You can remove your bolster, or you can bring your bolster or block underneath the hips. This time we're going to extend the left leg out and bring the sole of the right foot to the inside of the left thigh. But again, we're fighting that urge, or I should say resisting the urge to pull and grab like we would potentially in a vinyasa. We are just folding over the leg, disengaged. Something that can really help with this is turning the palms upward. And once you've found your position, we'll be in for 4 minutes. Again, don't be afraid to play with a couple of different positions here while you're getting set up. Find the place where you feel sensation. Target area is the left hamstring. If you find your mind wandering in this pose, just bring your attention back to the breath. It's totally normal for the mind to wander. Practice is noticing that and very gently, compassionately, and without judgment, coming back to the breath. Final 10 seconds here. Very slowly, very gently starting to come out of the pose. The hands to the ground first. Release the legs. Remove your block or bolster. And again, we'll come to a rebound on our backs. You can keep a bolster under the knees. Two minutes. Final 10 seconds here. And when you're ready, come back up to seated. We'll come into our final pose before Shavasana. So coming all the way through to all fours. Then we're going to walk the hips back, come down onto the forearms, and we'll come into Sphinx. So elbows directly underneath the shoulders, palms flat on the ground. And this is a back bend, but we don't want to be going too deep into the lower back here. So we're looking for some sensation in the lower back, no pinching, no grinding, no sharp pain. If there is any sharp pain, you need to back up out of it. You can come lower. But I'd encourage you here to really, once you've found your position, really relax the buttocks. The arms are the only things that should be slightly engaged here just to keep you propped up. Then you can relax the head, relax the neck, relax the lower back, and relax the buttocks. Once you're confident that you're safe in this pose, and we'll be here for 3 minutes. Again, back bends are so personal. Some people can just really have a lot of depth and mobility in the lower spine. Others, it's really inaccessible. So you need to do what's right for you, how it feels, not how it looks. Just relaxing deeper into this pose for the final minute or so. And when you're ready, you can slowly start to lower down. I'd invite you to come onto your belly first, just for a moment. And then from here, we can roll over onto our backs. So you don't need to change the side of the mat that you're on. We can just flip over and come to lie down for our final resting pose in Shavasana on this side. And we can open up the palms to face the ceiling. If you don't have a bolster, no worries, the feet can just be splayed out, nice and comfortable, wherever your natural position falls. You want to feel the back body sinking down into the earth and really letting everything go now for our final resting pose. Very gently starting to call the breath back into the body. Bringing some gentle movement to the body, maybe wiggling the fingers and the toes. Maybe gently rocking the head from side to side, or even taking a nice stretch overhead. And then whenever you're ready, you can hug the knees into the chest. And gently rock over to the right side. Pausing here for a moment to gather yourself. And then pushing the ground away, lifting yourself back up to seated. You can grab your bolster or your block if you like. We're keeping the eyes closed here, or the gaze nice and low. Meet back in a comfortable cross-legged seat where we started. Just taking the time now to notice how we feel. Bringing the hands to the chest or to heart center. Bowing the head, bringing the chest to the chin. Giving thanks to yourself for showing up for yourself today and taking this time to slow down. It really is time well spent in our frantic, fast-paced world. My thanks for you for showing up for yourself and for everyone else. Have a beautiful, beautiful rest of your day. Namaste.